Welcome back to the Andrew Finney Show, where we help you make sense of real estate. A couple of quick ground rules here today. Whenever we're looking at our live chat, very simple to get engaged by simply using the chat box and go ahead and ask any questions that you have. What we do is we answer the questions that have come in off of the last week's videos and go ahead and take those in turn, giving everybody a shout out. And again, this is a safe place. There is no such thing as a stupid question, so please feel free to ask any questions that you have on your mind and we'll get your questions answered as quickly as possible. I do want to share a quick update with y'all. You may have noticed that I haven't made any videos since last Wednesday's live session. The reason being is I'm actually working through learning the Adobe Premiere editing software right now. I just completed a great course on LinkedIn Learning, which used to be lynda.com, and it was 8 hours, but in practical application is more like 23 hours, right? So working on that and also learning about new stuff with my new camera with the Sony a7S II, so I can make higher quality videos for you and make them more engaging and helpful. So I just want to share that update with you. If you're not seeing my frequency as usual, about 6 days a week, that's the reason why. So thank you for sticking with me and thank you for your support for those of you that have reached out. Now, I do want to lead in. I saw that Mr. Derek Jones, if you're with us today, congratulations on closing on your home, and I'm super happy that you love it, and you're very welcome for all the help. I'm just super stoked that everything worked out for you. And Derek, I would certainly wish you and your family many years of happiness and love and wealth and enjoyment and abundance in your new place. Thank you for letting us know, Derek. Super happy for you and yours. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. We had a comment that came in 6 days ago from a gentleman, screen name as Captain Jack, that was watching VA loan process, your step-by-step guide, start to finish. Captain Jack brought something up really interesting. He asked if he could talk to me or one of the loan officers because he believes that he was targeted for a mortgage fraud scam. Talking to me about mortgage fraud, or even a loan officer for that matter, is probably not what you want to do if you suspect a mortgage fraud. The reason being is we can't take action on it in the way that the FBI could. So what I'm going to do is, after we do this live stream today, I'm going to put underneath the shout out to Captain Jack and his question, I'm going to make the FBI link directly available where you would actually report mortgage fraud. It's a very serious thing and it's something that we need to address. For reference, if you're wondering some of the things that might fall underneath mortgage fraud, the FBI lists possible mortgage fraud things as fraud for profit, fraud for housing, and they share with us on their website. I'm looking over right now actually at the FBI.gov site, and they said that the common mortgage fraud schemes that you would see are foreclosure rescue schemes, loan modification schemes, illegal property flipping, builder bailout or condo conversion, equity skimming, a silent sequent, home equity conversion mortgage, HECM, commercial real estate loans, be careful about those, and heir loans. So those are what they're reporting on the FBI's website as common mortgage schemes. So again, I will put that down below after the live stream today to help out if anybody feels like they might be a victim of a mortgage fraud. That's not cool. So you want to go over to the FBI's website and check that out and make sure that if you have something to report, please do so. We want to make sure that you're protected, and good on you, Captain Jack, for reaching out. I'm glad that you watched the videos, and I'm glad that you brought that up. It's a very real thing to do. So then we had Tom T that watched negotiating repairs after a home inspection, and Tom had said, I wish I had watched this first. So again, it goes back to the entire reason why I make this channel, and is to help you guys make sense of real estate and know what to look for. So Tom, I did respond to your comment. You know, if you're watching today or you watch this after the live stream, please feel free to hit me up and let me know of any other videos that you might have liked to see prior to getting involved with your real estate transaction, and as well as anybody else. You know, anything that you suggest to me as far as video content, I'm always considering making and putting it to my list of videos to make. I'm listening, and I want to provide the content that's most useful and most beneficial to you and answer any and all questions. Hence why we go live every Wednesday. One of my absolute favorite times of the week, to be honest with you, going live with the engagement. Like last week, we had massive engagement. We were live for like a super long time. It's so cool to be able to connect with you guys, and it's really awe-inspiring to me. So I really appreciate those of you that are able to tune in during the live stream, and everybody that comments on the videos throughout the week. It really means a lot to me. So it's really, really cool. Matt Nelson, how's it going? Thanks so much for being here, Matt. Always great to hear from you. I just caught something the other day that you did, by the way. You hit me up on Instagram, and I didn't see it until like right before I went live. So I'm going to go back and take a look at that. I know you were trying to help me out with, you know, why sometimes we drop on live stream. I'm not entirely certain. You'd ask me if I'm on Wi-Fi or hardline. So the way that my office is set up, it's on a very high-speed Wi-Fi, so there is no hardline. So that might be part of the issue. You'd also ask me if I'm shooting from my webcam, a computer, like with maybe ingesting settings, or my cell phone. For a live stream right now, with the way that I've been able to do it, I'm normally using my cell phone, which is a S8 Galaxy. And it works pretty good so far for the live stream. It's just a little bit more helpful as we progress and I learn more about the cameras and the hardware and stuff like that. I will be learning about the ingesting settings that YouTube has and how to set that up. I did attempt it before and it didn't go over so hot. So obviously I'm going to go back and learn that and watch some more YouTube videos of how best to set that up. So I could probably do the live streams off of a webcam or maybe off of my Sony A7 if it's possible to do it that way as well. So I really appreciate you reaching out, Matt. You've been a tremendous source of information and very helpful, as have many of the people in our community. And I just want to say thank you. It really means a lot to me. It just, it's what this is all about. It's all about building up a community, always stronger together than we are not. We'll talk on Instagram when I'm not at work. Cool. Yeah. Well, Matt, thanks to have you. Well, thank you for being here. And I'm looking forward to hitting you up on Instagram later. Okay. So MommyZ Time watched student loan debts delay buying a home, and MommyZ Time, I responded to her too. And she said, oh, I was expecting an answer, not an explanation on where to get an answer. And I wanted to bring this up because with the student loans, that was a video that I made a couple of years ago about the realities and the impacts of student loan debts on buying a home. And one of the most important things to note about that, why I was sharing the information about the guidelines at the time that were relevant and also where to get the answers, is because student loans work differently for everybody. It really comes down to debt to income ratios. It really comes down into how much student loans are owed and what loan type are you using. So that's why the best course of action is to reach out to a local loan officer and get your questions answered. So if you're asking me in a short, does it impact buying a home? Absolutely, it impacts buying a home. But more importantly, you need to know where to get the answer. That's how we replace that fear and that false evidence appearing real, right? Is by getting the answers and providing the solutions, not talking about a problem, rather solving for the problem and being a solution finder opposed to a problem solver. There is a difference. So I believe in doing solution finding. That's why you've seen me make so many videos this year, is essentially creating content that I know that comes up, and it might be a little bit latent at the time when you think about it, latent in the sense that maybe it's not on your mind right now, but it will come up somewhere in the process or come up somewhere during your thoughts about real estate. I try to make all the videos from big level videos, which are commonly popular, like first time home buyers, things to say, things not to say, that kind of fun stuff. But the reality is there's so many small things as well, or seemingly small things that can be big things in a transaction. Like whenever I was asked to make the video from a seller's perspective of latent defects versus material defects, and a lot of other videos I've been asked to make. These are the videos that have, I believe, the most power, but it's up to you to tell me what is most powerful to you, because that's the content that I'm going to create. I want to grow our channel substantially and exponentially over time, and I need your help to do that. So with you sharing it and with you staying subscribed and watching the videos, that's how we do it. We got to rank the channel so that more people can get the right information to help them make well-informed real estate decisions. And that's my passion. And you're part of that passion. And I'm passionate about you. So if you know of something that you want to know, or if you want to see something, tell me so I can start researching it and making it for you right away. Okay. So just wanted to throw it out there. Okay, Matt Leighton had watched last week's Making Sense of Real Estate with Andrew Finney episode, and Matt says, thanks for the shout out, Andrew, excited for our collaboration. For those of you that might have missed that, Matt is another real estate influencer. He's in Virginia, and he does an exceptional job on his channel as well, making consumer related content. There's three of us that I was talking about in last week's session. There's Javier Vidana out of Phoenix, Arizona. There's Matt Leighton out of Virginia, and then obviously I'm here in Las Vegas. So all three of us have a passion to create content that's going to be beneficial to you. Each of us have a little bit of a different approach, a little bit of a different style. So what I've suggested to them, and I've already done, as you may have noticed on my channel's homepage, is feature each other's channel. The idea here, at least from my vantage point, is, or my thought process is, to make everybody's channel available that produces content for the consumer that is a good objective advice to help you make sense of real estate. The reason being is some people are going to love watching me, some people are going to love watching Matt, maybe they love watching Javier, and they find their person that they like the best, or maybe they watch all three of us. I don't know. But the point being is just to get the information out there to you. It's about making well-informed decisions so that you make smart decisions with what is most of our biggest investment. So Matt, thanks for that. I'm glad that you were able to catch part of that, and thank you for the shout out. Okay, so Martine Davis had watched Buying an Old House, 7 Ways to Avoid a Nightmare. Martine says, my husband and I just found a house that's for sale, and it's 170 years old. It has been updated. The house was built in 1848. So Martine, I had sent you a message back as well. I responded pretty quickly and asking you to make sure that you get a thorough home inspection if you have not already purchased it. Make sure everything's good to go and checks out. So I would love to hear from you, Martina, how that's working for you, if you guys in fact did decide to move forward with that property, and how it's working for you, along with any ideas that you might have for other content, especially when you're buying a house that's that old. Just because it's old doesn't necessarily make it bad. But I mean, 170 years ago, we didn't even have electric in homes. We didn't have running water in homes. There's so many things that we didn't have in a home that would have been added to the house by now with electrical, plumbing, and maybe even energy efficient upgrades and such. So love to hear your experiences and learn from you and be able to create content around that to help our community learn and grow together, especially for anyone that's looking at purchasing an old home. Girl on the Moon watched Latent Defect versus Material Defect. Girl on the Moon says, this was super helpful. Please make more videos. Thank you. So Girl on the Moon, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. I'm glad you took a lot out of that video and you found it very helpful. So I responded to her, shared with her the fact that I've made over 440 videos to date. So that's a substantial amount of videos. And yes, I will be going through and making more playlists to make your favorite video content even easier to find for you. But I have made a ton of videos and will continue making a lot of them. If you have any ideas, Girl on the Moon, of what you would like to see next, just hit me up and let me know. Love to hear from you. Okay, then we had Kristine J. Fisher that watched 9 questions to ask your mortgage lender. Kristine says, great info. I had no idea what to ask, and everything you said was very, very helpful. But I have a question for you. How does a mortgage company selling your loan after it's closed affect the buyer? So that's a great question, Kristine. I'd answered that question a couple of live sessions ago. In short, it really depends on how much notice you were given, if you're given appropriate notice, and if you were paying attention whenever your mortgage note was sold. The reason I say that is that if you get consistent on paying a mortgage to a certain lender, and that's where you're used to paying your mortgage, they sell your mortgage to somebody else. By law, they have to notify you. They're going to call you, they're going to email you, they're going to send you a letter or something, right, and notify you of what's happened and who you should be reaching out to pay your mortgage. If you're not paying attention, or you just throw away the mail, or you spam the email or something like that, then you're going to get your mortgage, you're going to get your payment rejected, and then you're going to be confused as to where to pay it. That can cause big problems. It was also one of those things to think about whenever you're looking at that. I personally prefer, and I have my own personal mortgage set up with the same company, being Bill Merren's company over at New American Funding, who also is my mortgage service provider. I personally am far more comfortable with that. I know where my mortgage is. I know it's not being sold, and I don't have to worry about part of what led into the collapse issues of 2008 with trying to track down your mortgage or where to pay it, and then some people being told that they're late on their mortgage payment, but in reality, their mortgage may have been sold off 5, 6, 7, 8 or more times, and nobody knew who had their mortgage, and they don't even know where to pay it. So that's not cool. So I mean, it's really up to you, but the reality is about 80% or more of all mortgages that are originated will be sold. So that's just the reality of it. So it's okay. Just make sure that you track down who your mortgage service provider is, and make sure you stay on top of paying whom you're supposed to pay. LaRon Hall watched Buying a New Construction Home, 20 Tips to Build Upon. Now, LaRon's a really cool guy. So LaRon has been watching the channel for quite some time, and I definitely want to give him a great big shout out, and I'll read you off his comment here in a moment. LaRon is actually planning a move to Las Vegas in 2020. So when we're talking about how soon should you be reaching out to a trusted real estate advisor, LaRon had watched one of those videos and said, is it too soon? I said, absolutely not. We can come up with a game plan, and we can start squaring away any issues that we might have with getting the financial situation taken care of now. Also share with them market information, go ahead and see what he likes as far as the homes here in Las Vegas are concerned. And LaRon has said, hey, great info, Andrew. I'm learning so much from your videos, and now I'm very confident in purchasing my first home. Thanks for recommending Bill Merren's team for the loan process. I've been working with Celeste, and she's been great. So Celeste Harvey is one of Bill Merren's junior loan officers, so they've been in communication there. They're part of the team. and can't wait to start the process with you and move to Las Vegas. Thank you for the videos and have a blessed day. Well, first of all, thank you so much, LaRon, and have a blessed day as well. I'm super excited to meet with you and your family when you guys come to Vegas to help you all buy your first home. I know it's going to be a rocking good time when the time comes, but if anyone, for those of you that are watching this right now, when you're wondering how soon should you be reaching out to a trusted real estate advisor, I always say it's never too early to reach out. It really isn't, because there are things that once you start coming into the know of the real estate process and the loan process, you might realize, oh, I should be following these directions to help me be able to buy a home. And we want to make sure that you're successful. So the more information that you can get and being able to find the agent that you want to work with and the loan officer that you want to be able to work with up front will save you a lot of time when push comes to shove. Sometimes people say that they want to purchase a home 2 years from now or something, and then they lose contact and they don't bother reaching out to a trusted real estate advisor or a loan officer, and then they get to the city that they're moving in. Let's say that 2 years has already gone by, and what's happened now, they find out there was things that they should have been working on the last 2 years with their credit, or there's things that they should have been doing, especially in the case if you own a business and you're essentially getting like a self-employed home loan of type, which is a certain type of home loan, which is really, really cool. At the same time, there's ups and downs on all arounds to these loans. So if you're not planning out your taxes correctly, even if you have good business income, it can derail you on your home loan side, depending on what you're reporting and what you're claiming for losses. There's a lot of things that go into it. So getting started with your trusted real estate advisor and your loan officer is freaking amazing to get done. And in LaRon's case, I mean, we're 2 years ahead of the curve. So he's going to be extremely well prepared. By the time LaRon gets here, obviously I got 2 more years to work on my video skills, get even better with making quality videos. And I'll ask LaRon if he would want to share his home buying experience with us when the time comes, and maybe do a series on it. And just some ideas that I have as far as what I like to do for next year, creating little mini series with home buyers and home sellers and their experiences in buying a home and doing it live, or maybe not live, but at least ways doing the process and then putting it together in a real way for you to make it very, very powerful, and hopefully help you see what it's like to actually go through buyer consultations, home loans, and the actual home buying and home selling experience. If anyone's watching that right now knows anyone in Las Vegas that would be interested in that, or if you are in Vegas and would be interested in partaking of that, let me know. Let's get in touch and let's set something up and make that happen for you. It's just a side note there. It'd be really, really cool to work with people that would love to do that. So Paul Anderson, I went to a builder with my realtor. I ended up getting a home from that builder, but they cut my realtor out of everything. She didn't get paid anything. The builder told her ahead of time. Is there anything I can do about it, and your thoughts? So Paul, that is an extremely interesting and disturbing situation all at the same time. So when you're talking about you went to a builder with your realtor, the first question that would come to mind, Paul, is when you went to that builder the first time, the very first visit, did you go with your realtor? Because it kind of sounds like the way that you wrote your comment that you did. And if that's the case, then you should have signed a registration card with your realtor, and she would have given her information, and she would have received a receipt showing that you guys were together at the first visit. So your realtor should not be getting cut out of anything. And she should be definitely getting paid for representing you on that purchase. So I'm not understanding what that situation is. That sounds like a very bizarre situation. I would probably suggest you and your agent, or at least with your agent, gets with her broker and gets with her local association of realtors and has a real conversation with them about that, because that just something doesn't sound right in that overall situation. That's not how this works. So if you went to a new builder with your agent the first time and signed that registration card, compensation is due to the buyer broker. At the same time, that builder needs to be in touch with your buyer broker, and your buyer broker has full representation of you at that point, so they can watch out for your best interest. So there's no excuse for the breakdown here. There's just something not right about that situation, Paul. The only thing that I can think of again is get with your agent and go to the broker, and if needed, go to the real estate division, your local real estate division, and see what's going on, because something doesn't make sense in that situation. And I don't want to say too much about something I don't know. So please go back to the real estate division and go to the Association of Realtors and to her broker and see what you guys can get done there. And please check in with us and let us know what happened, because that's a very, very peculiar case. I'm very, very curious about that now. Denise Belt, thank you for being here today, Denise. She says, hello, Andrew, good to see you this week. We were talking about installing solar, and there are a lot of solar companies here locally that feature zero down, but I was also wondering about an energy efficient mortgage loan, because we have a VA loan and have noticed that they have an energy loan option, but only when buying or refinancing. What do I recommend? So Denise, that's a great point. So thank you so much for the great question, and thank you for being here again today. So when you're talking about installing solar, you know, are you looking at leasing, or are you looking at buying it? Because when you're talking about zero down, it seems to me that you'd be considering purchasing it. Now, there's a couple of things, because I actually made this video and then I had to do an update on the other editing software I was using. And for some reason, my lips were so much out of sync by like 4 or 5 frames, I didn't even release it. It was just awful. It just turned out awful, so I wasn't going to release that video. But the reason I brought it up is I was actually talking about the pros and cons of solar, and specific when you start talking about leased versus own, and how it impacts property value, how it impacts when you get ready to sell the property into the future. In short, if you're leasing solar, it will not add value to the property. In short, if you own the solar, then yes, you can expect a reasonable return on your investment. Statistically, nationwide, that amounts to roughly $15,000. Now, of course, if you're putting on like $60,000 of panels, then it's a whole nother ball game, and you would need an appraiser that knows what they're looking for. And I would recommend anyone that's watching this that might be considering selling a home that has owned solar, to hire an appraiser familiar with assessing green properties, so that you can get the full valuation out of the solar panels, because it should be a depreciated basis based upon the age of the system and the capacity. So there's a lot that goes into that. But to your second point, what do I recommend when we're talking about a VA loan and buying or refinancing? So if you already owned your home, then that's something that you might want to consider. Now, if you're talking about refinancing your home loan, obviously, depending on when you purchased your home, you're going to be facing higher mortgage interest rates, and it may offset any savings that you would get from the solar panels. Something to be extremely clear about and extremely real about. At the same time, if you have a zero down feature for those solar panels, then the other trade-off and curiosity I have is, what's the interest rate on it, what's the term, and when do the payments begin? Are you getting any tax credits courtesy of having owned solar panels? So these are all questions. There's a lot of questions, Denise, that come to mind about this. If you want to hit me up after the live session, please let me know, and we can have a conversation about this and figure out what the best course is going forward, the questions you should be asking. But off the top, when you start talking about zero down, get all the details about that program. When are they due? How long is it going to take to pay off? What's the interest rate? Who are you paying? Does it change? And make sure that that loan fits into your overall budget. If you're talking about refinancing, do your math, get with a local loan officer, talk over your options, see if the mortgage interest rate increase, if that's going to be your case, is going to justify the mortgage panels. Know exactly what your options are. How does it work if you do get into a position to sell your property? What position is it taking? Is it like a silent second loan, essentially? Is it a second loan to your mortgage? Is it rolled into the overall mortgage? How does that work? You want to have clarity in all of that, and what does it do to your interest rate at large? You want to know about those things before you get involved with them. So it sounds like it could be an interesting option, and it would be something that I'd ask you to come back on either in a live episode, hit me up again directly or something via email, and let me know how it plays out, and work through the situation as you're going through it. Share the information with me so we can create more content and answer these questions, because as we see rising energy prices across the country, what we're going to also see is a rise in renewables, especially with environmental friendly thought processes. Obviously, we want to take care of our planet. It kind of takes care of us. We need to make sure that we're taking care of it. Otherwise, we won't have a planet, just being real. So that being said, let's learn this together, because there are a lot of solar companies out, and I would be remiss to say that I know everything about all of them, because I don't. I have worked through the solar process before on buying and selling. The people that I've worked with, though, the solar panels were leased in those cases, not owned. So I would love to work with you on this and learn more about the whole overall situation, so we can help other people answer these questions as well. So thank you so much, Denise, for being here. Thank you so much for that question. Jamil Chatman, Andrew, you, sir, have been a great deal of help in the process. Thanks again for your videos. Keep it up. Jamil, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, sir, and I appreciate you being here and your kind words of support. Really means a lot to me, and I will definitely keep them up. Again, on the onset of the video, I was sharing with you guys where I'm at right now as far as elevating the videos and making them even better. So ideally here shortly, I'll be able to start getting back in the production mode and making videos again. Very confident now, or at least we have a lot more familiarity with the new software, the new camera, and really looking forward to changing up the format so I can stand, I can talk, I can move around a little bit more, as opposed to kind of being like a head bobbing and weaving, trying to talk whenever sometimes it would be better if I was walking or doing something else. So anyways, also would be looking at doing some whiteboard explainer videos, breaking some things down that might make it a lot more powerful and engaging. So really appreciate that, Jamel. Really appreciate all the support from you guys. You guys mean the world to me, and I just want to continue delivering and meeting your expectations and providing you with the value that you're looking for. Okay, Endy M was watching top 5 real estate scams, don't get tricked, and she simply says good tips. So Endy, thank you so much, really appreciate that. I'm glad that that video helped you out. So really appreciate everybody here today. Today's probably going to be a very short live stream. We've gotten through the questions. Obviously, since I haven't made as many videos, I stopped making videos last Wednesday to learn the new equipment and stuff. Other than a live session, there haven't been a lot of comments as far as new videos because there haven't been any, right? So all of these other comments have been great. And okay, looks like for some reason we dropped. But anyways, like I was saying, didn't have a ton of comments, only about 15 or 20 this last week that we have already gotten through, in addition to answering the questions in the live chat today. So I'm gonna let you guys go for today. Definitely wish you guys a wonderful day and hope that you guys have an amazing week, and look forward to coming back at least live next week. I will be getting out the recorded content as soon as possible with the new equipment. Looking forward to the feedback on that, seeing what you guys think and any tweaks or anything that you would like to see. Again, this is really all about you guys, so please let me know what's ever on your mind, and let's keep it going, and let's keep engaged and keep strong together. In the meantime, enjoy a wonderful day, and we'll look forward to chatting with you again soon. Thanks.